Coming up on the Wisconsin Vegetable Gardener Radio Show today, we're going to be talking about growing indoors over winter and how you can do it successfully.
We're also going to talk about some fall tree care tips so you can have the best trees, health for your trees. We also have guest Chris Mclaughlin, and she is a fiber farmer, a floral farmer, and an author and a blogger.
Plus your garden questions, and it all starts right now. Welcome to the Wisconsin Vegetable Gardener Radio Show. So glad you've taken time out of your day to join us on the program, whether you're in Milwaukee, Philadelphia, Southeast Michigan, or listening anywhere via the simple radio app or the TuneIn app or through the WisconsinVegetableGardener.com website underneath the radio tab. We're so happy you've joined us, whether it's on podcast replay or in-studio video replay. I am your host, Joy Baird. Beside me is my wife, co-host, best friend, and gardening partner,
Holly Baird.
You can find all of our information at that website, the WisconsinVegetableGardener.com, where it now contains over 1,500 garden videos, as well as you can find our Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and other social media contacts there. The executive sponsor of the Wisconsin Vegetable Gardener Radio Show is Power Planter.
Planting conditions are always favorable with the Power Planter Earth Auger. No matter what the job is, Power Planter has the right size for you. Simply attach to a drill and let the Power Planter do the work for you. Create planting holes fast and efficiently with ease. No matter the soil type, it does the job effortlessly. Increase your root to soil contact. Leave the shovel and the spade in the shed. Hand welded and made in the USA. We offer a lifetime warranty on product defects. Find the size that fits your project at powerplanter.com. We now have the DeWalt drills on our site. Power Planter is now a distributor of DeWalt drills and offer 3 different drills to meet whatever need the customer might have. Our website also suggests what drills are recommended for what size auger.
You got a job, they got an auger, and they got a drill that matches that. You want to get a hold of us, you can do that a variety of different ways. They're all part of the Ivy Organics communication hotline.
Ivy Organic 3-in-1 Plant Guard naturally protects plants against damaging sunburn, insects, and rodents, protects newly installed plants and trees, shields prune and damaged surfaces, for use on your roses, fruit and nut trees, ornamental trees, and shrubs. This product is non-toxic, environmentally safe, and organic. For more information, visit ivyorganics.com. You can send us an email through the Ivy Organics 3-in-1 Plant email inbox. The email address is twvgshow@gmail.com, or you can also send us a text on the Instant Access Ivy Organic 3-in-1 Plant Guard Instant Access text hotline. Send your questions to 414-368-9311. Again, the number is 414-368-9311.
Well, winter is nearing, and there are several classifications of gardeners. There are hobby gardeners who just grow basically from Memorial Day to Labor Day. There's other gardeners who grow as soon as they can chisel a seed in the soil, all the way up to frost and freeze. And then there's others who grow year-round, whether outdoors through devices such as low tunnels and greenhouses, and or indoors, such as under grow lights. We're going to talk about growing indoors and what's best to do indoors over winter, what can be grown and what can't be grown. And this segment is sponsored by Happy Leaf LED Grow Lights.
The segment is sponsored by Happy Leaf LED Grow Lights, proudly made in the USA, a grow light for beginners or advanced indoor gardeners. They have universal LED recipe. That means you just turn it on and watch your leafy greens, herbs, and vegetables, any plant really, grow and thrive. It's the anywhere, anytime garden, a professional-grade grow light with a home gardener's affordability. No fans, no motors, just plug it in and grow. Find out more by visiting happyleafled.com. Again, that's happyleafled.com.
Several models to choose from, a mini 4-inch, a standard 17, and a big 33-inch, as well as other lights. They understand the spectrums of light and how the LED and the color spectrum the plant requires in order to grow correctly. And we use those in seed starting, and we also grow over the winter with those Happy Leaf LED lights, and they are top of the line on the market when it comes to a grow light in which you can utilize inside any time of year.
Right. So when you're growing indoors, you need to designate a growing area, especially if you are using a grow light. It's good to make sure that that area is just for indoor growing. Also, if you have nosy pets that might eat your plants or children that might investigate your plants, you would want to make sure that it's safe from kids and pets.
You can, with the Happy Leaf LED grow light, which we use, we put underneath in a corner bedroom. We've got a table, and we hang it underneath the table because it's so compact, and the spectrum of light and the distribution,
the
footprint of the light is so wide, it works very well, and you don't have to adjust the LED Happy Leaf light as the seeds emerge. You can set it at a standard height. We usually put it at 16 inches and let it go. The plants do not stretch because the intensity of light is enough in which the plants have for the requirements for it to grow, unlike a traditional tube light. Now, there are some things that are very easy to grow indoors. There are some things that are not that easy to grow indoors. So let's go over the easy things and the ones that we have found the most success with over the years.
So one is herbs, and herbs you definitely don't even need a grow light for if you have a south-facing window. If you have even an east or west-facing window, you can get it with growing herbs, and pretty much any herb.
The north face, that's when you need some additional light, because there's not a whole lot of light coming in on the north-facing window. Basil, sage, rosemary, thyme, all of those work very, very well when it comes to growing from seed or from start. Now, we're talking about growing indoors over winter. You can grow indoors year-round. There are people that do this that don't have the availability of a ground garden or a community garden. They're in an apartment, or they're in a living facility or a retirement home, and they do this, and they're able to grow not hydroponically, but it's stagnant in mason jars under the grow light. Passive hydroponics, where you don't need the addition to air stones and a bubbler. It'll grow very easily in a mason jar.
So you're going to grow herbs. That's a good option.
Yeah.
Now, another option is greens. So you can do microgreens. You can do just regular greens, any combination of that. So
lettuce, leaf lettuce.
Yeah, so leaf lettuce. Microgreens are just basically greens you're trying to grow, but then you use them faster before they become full maturity.
Usually about a 6 to 9 day turnaround. Once the seed emerges and gets about 2 inches to 4 inches tall, then you cut it off and you utilize that as the edible portion. You don't wait until the plant, as you said, gets to the mature state that we're familiar with in that aspect of it.
Yep. And then you can also do sprouts. Now, sprouts you don't need any direct sunlight for. So, and all you need is basically a mason jar and either like a little screen or some old nylon, some sort of very porous material. And you put your seeds in the mason jar, you cover it up, and then you rinse them very thoroughly. And you do this every day, kind of as you shake it out twice a day. And then you'll get sprouts, and it happens very quickly. Just
like you would at let's say, a sandwich shop. They ask if you want sprouts. Do this if you're going to utilize the prospect of growing sprouts. Grow them your own. Don't buy them in the store, because there's fraction of a penny to grow versus dollars that you buy at the store.
And there are fancy sprout growing mechanisms that you'll find in the seed catalog or whatever. And it's the garden supply catalog. It's not worth it. You don't even need a mason jar. You could use like an old glass spaghetti sauce jar or what have you. So that's definitely an option.
Let's go to a little bigger realm of indoor growing, and that can be cherry tomatoes, beans, and even dwarf citrus trees.
Now, we have a dwarf citrus tree. It's not doing so well, but it served us well.
Many years.
It served us well for many years. It's got scale on it, and we couldn't bring it back. It's just kind of, I don't even know what it's doing. It's
surviving, but the life expectancy is getting very short on that tree because the problems with the scale that we're dealing with.
However, you can grow. You don't need a grow light for that. We have it in our south-facing kitchen window. Provided us limes for a long time.
Dozens and dozens of limes.
A lot of limes.
The only thing, the asterisk next to that conversation is you have to hand pollinate the male flower to the female flower because you don't have any pollinators in the house. So you just keep a Q-tip and you take the pollen from one or the other, and it worked extremely well. Very, very fragrant flower, fragrance.
But then what was weird is that right before it would put on the little limes, it would smell like garbage.
Yeah, it would stink. It would absolutely stink.
But that only lasted like a day or two, so it was fun to grow. So
the tomatoes now, that's the one that people are probably most interested in. I can grow tomatoes in winter over winter under a grow light. Yes. You would want to go with now we have done both. We've done a dwarf variety, which only gets about 16 inches high. Works very well. They're on the porch right now. Very prolific. They get about grape-sized tomatoes. we have grown full-size tomatoes indoors as well. Now, that was a normal black crim plant that we chopped down and continued to shape and control the shape of the canopy in order to get a tomato to grow. The downside to a large tomato indoors is it becomes very thick-skinned because it takes a longer time in order to ripen. The cherry tomatoes on the dwarf tomato plant, which migardener.com has, just crazy amount of tomatoes that one of these produces. And you don't have to self-pollinate a tomato plant. You want to put a fan on it, you want to just tap it. It'll be fine because then it will pollinate itself. The male and female reproductive organs are both in the same flower, and it works fine.
Right.
So that worked very well. Now you can also do beans.
Yeah, we did beans in a very small hydroponic system, but you could also do it in a non just like a soil or some other sort of growing medium. But that is something you can grow indoors, and you can get quite a few beans.
Bush beans worked very, very well for us. And you don't have to have a lot of, one plant for us produced enough for one meal. Now, the reproductive or the time in which the beans produced over again took a while because there's only so much time in which it takes for, a bush bean takes 40 to 60 days to reach maturity and then bears its fruit for the bean for 2 to 4 weeks, and that's about it of the life cycle. So you'd have to kind of figure out if you're going to do that. Now, what medium in which we can grow in indoors? We just can't bring the garden soil in, put these plants in, and then expect everything to be wonderful.
Right. So you can do anything from soil. You will get soil gnats initially, but then they do go away. And you can bake your soil to prevent that if you want. Otherwise, you can just kind of deal with them for a few days. You can do compost. That's kind of another option. Or you can do something like coco coir. And coco coir is, the byproduct of the coconut industry?
The coconut husk is ground up, and that's the fibers in which it's a medium. Now, it has no nutrient value whatsoever, but you're adding a nutrient to that, whether in a liquid form, diluted into water, and that acts like as a sponge and holds that and the plant uptakes it as it is needed.
Right, and when you do that, you do have to add the nutrients. Same thing with something like aquaponics, and these are not the same nutrients that you're adding. You're adding different nutrients. I think they can be the same, but typically it's different, right? Yeah,
can be the same. Hydroponics is the process of water growing in water. Aquaponics is the process of using fish waste pumped through underneath the roots for the uptake of that waste of the fish to grow the plant.
If you've ever been to the pet store or a big box store and they sell those beta fish tanks that have the fish on the bottom and on top is like a plant, that is a very passive and simple way to think about growing aquaponically. So that is kind of an example where the fish is feeding the plant with their waste, and it's something that you can have in your home. And so then on a larger scale is the more of the aquaponics.
And some of these aquaponics are warehouse size.
Right.
Millions of gallons.
Some people do them with like Rubbermaid containers in their home.
Yeah, so they're just because it's winter, that doesn't mean, and again, we're not talking utilize the whole basement or the whole bedroom. You can do this on a very small scale with the Happy Leaf LED grow light and or south-facing window. We've got herbs that grow year-round in the south-facing window. So that is a little bit of how you can grow indoors over winter very easily. So just because it's cold outside doesn't mean that growing season is over. Well, fall is here, so don't go anywhere. When we come back, it's going to be about fall tree care tips, what you need to do in order to keep your trees healthy so you have a better spring next year. You're listening to the Wisconsin Vegetable Gardener Radio Show.
Got a question? Email the show at twvgshow@gmail.com.
Root Assassin, a garden tool that does all the root functions with its advanced shovel that has serrated edges on both sides. Find out more information at rootassassinshovel.com. The Norwalk juicer is the best cold-pressed juicer on the market. Studies have shown the Norwalk juicer produces 50 to 100% more juice than other juicers. And juice from the Norwalk is higher in minerals and nutritionally superior. Not only do you get more juice from your produce, but also better quality juice. Check it out at norwalkjuicers.com. Use coupon code GARDENTALK to get free continental U.S. shipping on the Model 290 juicer.
Never question your garden soil again. Know what's in your soil with confidence. Professional grade soil test for the home gardener. My Soil Savvy has the easiest soil test on the market. Ship it to them, get your report, emailed with nutrients recommendation, and grow happy, healthy plants. MySoilSavvy.com. Use coupon code TWVG19 and save 10% at checkout.
Don't harvest everything just because it's going to get cold. This garden tip is sponsored by BioSafe, organic solutions that are effective. They offer an array of eco-friendly products, from plant food to fertilizer to one-of-a-kind herbicides, organic weed killer. Grow stronger, healthier with BioSafe. Visit biosafe.net to learn more and save 10% on your next order by using coupon code TWVG at checkout. If it is going to frost, that does not mean you have to harvest all your crops and your season is done. Crops like kale, cabbage, parsnips, carrots, and Brussels sprouts actually taste better after a frost. Wisconsin Greenhouse Company has custom-made greenhouses to suit your needs. Grow fruit and vegetables all year long. Strongest greenhouses available that will last a lifetime. Beautiful design available in any size and color. Weather-resistant, energy-efficient to save on that heating cost. Mix and match with glazings to suit your climate. Sturdy and durable, they'll hold up to those heavy snow loads. They'll even add them to homes. For agricultural to lodging to entertaining, it's a great addition to any garden or landscape. Check them out at WisconsinGreenhouseCompany.com. Garden seeds do not have to cost a fortune, just 99 cents at migardener.com. Now with over 450 varieties of non-GMO, heirloom, and organic flower, vegetable, and herb seeds available year-round. Pay less and get more seeds. Shipping as low as $2.50. That just makes sense. Go to migardener.com for seeds and garden needs, tools, and special blend fertilizers. migardener.com. It's that simple. Family owned and operated. Shield and Seal vacuum sealers and the highest quality vacuum sealing products, unique black and clear and all black bags, protecting your produce and product better than traditional bags. Find out more at shieldandseal.com.
When it comes to bulk landscaping materials, Blue Mills Garden and Landscape Center is where everyone goes. Whatever the project, we have the materials you need with over 40 varieties to choose from. Soils, mulches, gravels, decorative stones, fresh cut sod. Blue Mills has these products in stock and ready for easy pickup or fast delivery. So what are you waiting for? Now is the time to get your yard back into shape. Stop in and pick these materials up or call us for delivery today. Nobody does bulk landscaping materials better than Blue Mills Garden and Landscape Center.
Blue Mills, 4930 West Loomis Road, 414-282-4220. The Wisconsin Vegetable Gardener Radio Show is brought to you by the following: Ivy Organics, Power Planter, Root Assassin, Beans and Barley, BioSafe, Bobex, Pomona Universal Pectin, Pro Plugger, Standard Process, Tomato Snaps. Find all sponsors at the WisconsinVegetableGardener.com and thank them for their support.
This is Mike Novak.
And this is Peggy Malecki.
From The Mike Novak Show with
Peggy Malecki.
You are listening to
the Wisconsin Vegetable Gardener Radio Show.
On WNOV, 860 AM and 106.5 FM in Milwaukee.
WWDB, 860 AM, Philadelphia.
And WAAM, 1600, Ann Arbor, Michigan. WAAM Radio, which I used to listen to when I went to school there, but nobody needs to know that. Anyway, back to Holly and Joey Baird of
the Wisconsin Vegetable Gardener Radio Show.
Dr. Earth is committed to clean and healthy gardening, creating through cutting-edge, natural, organic, garden-friendly products. Based on research and innovation, after 28 years, they're the leader in the organic lawn and garden industry. They do not use ingredients such as biosolids or composted household waste or synthetic chemicals. Instead, they have manure-free fertilizers, organic soils, insect control, and liquid fertilizers. If you want to grow the best quality food organically to feed your family, that is the founding principles of what Dr. Earth is all about. They have experts to find the most innovative ways to help you grow your best organically. Visit drearth.com for more information where to buy.
Fall is the time that the leaves begin to fall on most of your trees, and you may think that we'll deal with the problems, if any, in spring, but there are some fall tree care tips in which we must do, or at least it's recommended to do in order for the health and well-being of our trees.
While your tree does go into a state of hibernation during winter, you have to...
It's still alive.
It's still alive, and you have to care for it typically in the fall so that it brings you the nice green happiness in the spring.
We want to talk about mulch for a minute. Mulching on our gardens, mulching around our trees, on our landscape is important for a variety of different reasons. It suppresses weeds, it holds moisture in the soil, and protects the soil as well.
Now, mulch does a number of things besides protecting the soil. It also helps retain water and then the temperature, and that's good for the winter, especially because that way it kind of gives it a little blanket. And
you may not think a 4-inch layer of wood chips at sub-zero temperatures in the northern portion of the United States does any difference to the soil underneath it, but there is a lot of stuff that goes on underneath there, and that small blanket makes a tremendous difference. Now,
during the break, you had mentioned we have to talk about volcano mulch.
Volcano mulching.
And so volcano mulching is when you kind of mulch like right up to the tree trunk, and you're like, the mulch is just hugging the tree, and it's all right next to each other.
It's up the stalk, or up the trunk.
The trunk, yeah.
Yeah, 3 or 4 up to. I've seen them where there's 2 to 3 foot, and it just looks like a mountain of mulch around the actual trunk. This is detrimental to the tree. This will kill the tree, because if you go to a tree that's been volcano mulched 5 years ago and pull that mulch back, there's a lot of exposed roots above the ground. And the actual trunk is beginning to rot because the moisture hangs right there between the mulch and the bark, and it begins to rot the tree, and it will kill the tree. We want to take one layer level, just slightly around the crown of the tree there, and that's it. Don't go up the trunk. There are arborists and there are companies in cities across the country that volcano mulch every single day, and they think it is a wonderful thing to do. And has been proven time and time again that that is a death sentence to your tree or the community trees in the park.
Right, and actually, I've noticed here in the city of Milwaukee that they don't do that. They do the proper mulching. I've watched them install trees.
Have you yelled at them?
No,
okay.
I've watched them install trees.
You would
by my work.
Yeah, you
and
would.
They do the proper mulching. So it's also up to not only for you but also your community, your municipality.
See something, say something.
Yeah, see something, say something.
Let's rely. We got to give our trees water in order to grow successfully, even in the dormant stage.
Yeah, so you want to give your trees a nice thorough drink, especially before it gets to frost or freeze, and that way that water table underneath is hydrated, and your tree, it's going to help, especially for younger trees. It's kind of a lifesaver.
We want to look at injuries to the tree.
Right, so maybe you've been looking at this branch hanging off your tree all summer long, and you're like, I got to take care of it, and you're like, well, maybe I'll take care of it in the spring.
Maybe it'll fall down on its own, but then it may fall on somebody or something.
Right, exactly. So that's something you definitely want to consider is, hey, if I don't take care of this and we have a very cold winter, very snowy winter, icy, heavy, whatever winter, this branch might fall off, and that's where you want to kind of think about that, taking care of that. And also, you would rather trim the branch off than have it break off. That prevents less chances of disease for your tree.
When you trim the branch off, then you can coat it with IV Organics 3-in-1 Plant Guard instead of the black tar that we were all traditionally taught to do. The tar does not allow the tree to heal. It actually hurts the tree. The IV Organics 3-in-1 Plant Guard actually puts a Band-Aid, a breathable Band-Aid on that wound in which you have. Now, if you
It's also a good idea to mark where your tree is if you are possibly shoveling or using a snowblower
on a small tree.
On a small tree, or if it's near that tree, so that you don't ding that tree or hurt it.
Now, if you have trees that have emerald ash borer, or what is the other one that we're dealing with? Is it ash?
It's only the emerald ash borer.
You want to.
That's if you have an ash tree.
Mm-hmm. And it's dying. It's going to die. If it's already showing signs of death, you're not going to fix or reverse the issue. So you want to have these trees mulched up. You don't want to cut them down and transfer the wood to a different location. If you are going to burn it on site, you can do that. The reason being that if you mulch it, that will kill those spores or the emerald ash borer that's in the tree. You don't want to do anything other than burn it or get it mulched. Otherwise, it will spread.
Now, we mentioned kind of preventing large limbs falling and whatnot. You can also prune your trees at this time.
Before that problem happens in a year.
Yeah. And then, obviously, along with that, like, you want to look for any possible pests or damage. I know my mom has this maple tree in her backyard. There's a situation with a squirrel.
Yeah,
Joey and my mom have been fighting the squirrel, and this is
I don't think there's squirrels in the tree, really. But we've put flower pots in the holes to keep whatever was in there out or whatever's in. But, yeah, you want to figure out if it's a concern to you, then you want to address the situation humanely, or if you have other means of removal, that is of your discretion. And whatever works for you, keep a success and maybe keep it quiet.
Right.
Yeah, whenever it comes to that. What other things is we can plant now as well if we've got trees that we want to
Fall is the ideal time for planting trees. And
spring or fall, but yeah,
right.
You don't want to do it in the harsh of the summer.
No, definitely not the middle of the summer. Definitely not. I don't know why you'd plant a tree in the winter. That would probably be very difficult with the ground being frozen.
In the northern portions of the United States.
Yeah, if you're more south, maybe not.
Right.
But definitely in the fall and spring is when you want to plant your trees. If you ideally would probably start this process in summer, because you're going to figure out where you're going to put that tree. You're going to look at the other canopies. And you can still do that now. We haven't lost most of the leaves in the northern part of the United States, so you can still figure that out now. And you might find deals at the garden center. But definitely is a good time to plant your trees.
Yeah, do not leave it in the container. Even shrubs or bushes, get them in the ground. Don't leave them in the container, because if you leave them in the container over winter, you'll have a dead plant come spring. So get it in the ground. Well, Holly, summer is over, and the kids are back in school, and the nights are getting colder. And let's be honest, you've probably forgotten about your yard, haven't you?
Yeah, you probably have. And just because it's fall, we don't want to forget about our yard and those Japanese beetles either. They may be gone, but they are not far. Not only did they feast on your roses and berries this summer, they laid eggs on your turf. So you can start again next year, or they can start again next year. You want to take stand with the Phylum's Grub Gone. Grub Gone is a non-chemical BT granule that will specifically target scarab pests and their larvae. Simply apply the granule with a spreader, irrigate it into the soil, and let the naturally occurring bacteria do its job.
Not only is Grub Gone easy to use, and it's easy to use, but it's the only non-toxic choice that is effective to control grubs. And my favorite part about this is that it's non-toxic to bees and other pollinators and beneficials. In fact, Grub Gone has no label restrictions, so you do not have to get on your hands and knees and remove the flowers before you apply this directly to your yard. That's Grub Gone from Phylum Bioproducts. That's PhylumBioproducts.com, PhylLLOM Bioproducts.com. It's the natural choice. Do not go anywhere. We'll be right back. You're listening to the Wisconsin Vegetable Gardener Radio Show.
For more gardening information, visit thewisconsinvegetablegardener.com. But wait till after the show. We still have more garden information to talk about.
Power Planter is a family-owned earth auger manufacturer. The Power Planter Earth Auger will transform your garden experience. It helps homeowners and professionals complete almost any planting or digging project faster and more efficiently than using a shovel or a spade. Power Planter Earth Auger creates loose dirt when drilling holes, giving your plants better root-to-soil contact to help reduce plant loss for healthier, more beautiful trees, shrubs, flowers, vegetables, and grass. All of our augers are hand-welded and made in the USA, lifetime warranty. Find the size that fits your project at powerplanter.com. Pharmaceuticals essential oils are high-grade, very pure, and high in quality. They have synergized blends made with the finest raw materials. For more information and to order, visit dharmaceuticals.com.
Take the pain out of planting with the Pro Plugger 5-in-1 planting tool. Step, twist, pull, and you're ready to plant. Digs perfect size planting holes. Soil gets stored in the tube and empties from the top. Helpful for weeding. ProPlugger.com.
Do you have a problem with deer or small herbivores eating your vegetation? There is a natural solution that is safe for your pets and family. Bobex is the answer. An environmentally friendly solution to protect your plants, will not wash off, and is guaranteed. Bobex Deer was independently tested against 9 known competitors and rated 93% effective, second only to a physical barrier. Bobex can be used on all types of ornamentals, trees, and shrubs. Ask for it by name at your local independent garden center. Find out more, visit bobex.com. BOBBEX.com.
Spending time scrubbing pesky dirt off your hands after gardening? Use Workman's Friend Superior Skin Cream with added barrier protection, creating a protective layer on your skin surface, allowing for easy cleanup, all while moisturizing and healing your skin. Non-greasy, fragrant-free, and fast-absorbing. Apply first, get to work, wipe clean. This friend has you covered for whatever you're getting into. Visit workmansfriendbrand.com.
Beans and Barley Market and Cafe, a neighborhood specialty grocery store for the east side and greater Milwaukee area, where you can find all you need, from fresh produce to bakery to organic frozen dinners, from wine to fresh squeezed carrot juice. A health food store with hundreds of products, vitamins, supplements, bath and body items, magazines, cards, books, and a knowledgeable staff. Catering available, open daily at 8 a.m. The restaurant serves breakfast, lunch, and dinner 7 days a week with a menu of good, healthy, homemade food, including vegetarian and non-vegetarian specialties. 1901 East North Avenue, Milwaukee, 414-278-7878, and online at beansandbarley.com.
Do you want fresh produce delivered right to your neighborhood? Check out Tree Ripe Citrus Company. Find out where to pick up quality produce at tree-ripe.com. They have beautiful, tasty peaches and juicy, sweet blueberries. If you're tired of the non-taste peaches and the bad blueberries from your local grocer, Tree Ripe has what you need. They come right to a stop in your neighborhood, fresh off the truck, right from the source. To find locations and schedules, visit tree-ripe.com. They're in Iowa, Michigan, Minnesota, Illinois, and right here in Wisconsin. Tree-ripe.com is your go-to place for the freshest produce around. The Wisconsin Vegetable Gardener Radio Show is brought to you by the following: Clyde's Vegetable Planting Chart, Dharmaceutical, Dr. Earth, Flame Engineering, Handy Safety Knife, Hydrobox, Wisconsin Greenhouse Company, M.I. Gardner, Outpost Natural Food Co-op, Rootmaker, Soil Diva, Blue Mills Landscape and Garden Center. Find all sponsors at the WisconsinVegetableGardener.com and thank them for their support. It's fall and it's time for pumpkins, but where can we find pumpkins?
At Blue Mills.
We want some fall decor, let's say corn stalks for our front porch. Where can we get them at?
Blue Mills.
We want some fall mums to put around the porch for a little fall festival color. Where can we get those at?
Blue Mills. Blue Mills at 4930 West Loomis Road, just south of Layton. You can call 414-282-4220 or go to bluemills.com.
They also have the largest supplies of bulk material in the area, all that you can pick up or have delivered. Dehydrating your produce. That's a great way to get some longevity on the storage of what you've grown. This Michigan Garden Moment is brought to you by migardner.com. With over 450 varieties of heirloom and organic flowers, vegetables, and herb seeds, all for 99 cents a pack. Find out more at migardner.com. When you dehydrate your vegetables and fruits that you're harvesting, been given, or purchased from the farmer's market, there's a number of different tools in which one can use. You can use your oven by cracking the door and allowing the heat to escape and taking the fruit or vegetables and dehydrating them that way. A more energy-efficient way in which to do such is using a dehydrator that has a fan that forces the air through the multiple levels in which you've got stacked up. There's many different items in which you can dehydrate, from tomatoes to cucumbers to okra, even peaches, pears, and apples. We find that dehydrating tomatoes actually creates them to be sweeter, and you can eat them as candy, or you can also include them into your dishes, chilies and stews, or sun-dried tomatoes on top of pasta. Cucumbers can be dehydrated and used as cucumber water. You can infuse them into a pitcher of water and later on in the year, and you can have cucumber water in the dead of winter. Okra is dehydrated, and we find that the sliminess that is typically associated with the pods dissipates, and you can utilize that okra for the dishes in which you're intending to use, and you can get the young pods and dehydrate them. There are many other applications, such as pears. Grind them up, dehydrate them, and you can make pear tea. This Michigan Garden Moment is brought to you by migardener.com. With over 450 varieties of heirloom and organic flowers, vegetables, and herb seeds, all for 99 cents a pack. Find out more at migardener.com. Holly, let's go to the IV Organics 3-in-1 Plant Guard hotline and go to Northern California to bring in our guests for the week.
Right. Chris Mclaughlin lives with her husband, and they are on their fiber and heirloom flower farm in Northern California. She's also an author and blogger and garden enthusiast. Welcome to the program, Chris.
Hi, guys. Thank you so much for having me.
Well, thank you for getting up early and joining not only Holly, myself, but all of our listeners and enlightening us about some flower farming and fiber farming. We're interested to learn about this.
Yeah, that's great. I'm glad to hear that. It's kind of an unusual combination in a lot of ways. So,
well, let's talk about this fiber farming. What is fiber farming to somebody who's not familiar with that term?
Okay, well, the fiber that makes your yarn, a natural fiber, would either come from plants or animals, and I raise the animals that we actually get our yarn from. So that would include sheep, Angora rabbits, alpacas, and we raise Angora goats. So, and Angora goats actually produce mohair. So if you've heard of a mohair suit, things like that, that's where this fiber actually comes from. And so we have this big farm, and we also raise the flowers. We really have to secure the goats because, of course, they would eat all the flowers. So, and we have a flower farm. And they work hand in hand really, really well, using the manure from the goats to help the plants, as you well know, putting that in the compost pile. And also the flowers, many of them, we use as a natural dye to dye our fiber. The animals are shorn twice a year, so they stay with us forever unless they go to another farm and hang out there. But, they stay with us throughout their lives, so we shear them every 6 months. And they get a fresh coat every 6 months, and we get to sell the fiber or use it.
Well, I'll ask this because it's our show, and I'll ask this. There are people who are animal activists, and everybody has the right to their own opinion, but shearing the animals, that does not hurt the animals, correct? And if they don't get sheared, it can actually be detrimental to the animal. Am I right or am I wrong on this?
You are 100% right, and we are really out here trying hard. We were at our California State Fair recently, and we shear in front of the public. We show them exactly what we do. Depending on the goat stand, some goats are kind of just standing there as we're shearing them. But like in our case, we also have a stanchion they stand on that has a bunch of yummy grain in it, and they just sit there and eat. It's like a kid going to a barber shop. They're just sitting there eating their lollipop, whatever, while we're shearing their coats. If you do not take that coat off, what people don't understand is all of these animals are man-made. I mean, really they are. You're not getting an Angora goat that looks the way our Angora goat looks out in the wild. These have been bred over thousands of years to become, at least the white ones, to become fiber producers. And so if you let that coat keep growing, what happens is it becomes matted. And it'll start to rip away from their skin, not fully though. These guys aren't going to shed on their own. And so it slightly rips, and then you start to get wounds, which flies lay eggs in. Really horrible things happen there. Probably shouldn't describe that. And it's torturous for the animal. There are sheep sometimes that will lay on their side. They have this full fleece. No one has shorn them. They cannot get back up. They'll just lay there and die. It's very unhealthy. In the natural state of having the natural length of coat, that coat acts as an insulator as well as something that's warm. So in the winter, they're kept very warm. But a naturally, coat on them that is not matted is also going to not overheat them in the summer. It wicks away moisture, which is exactly what it does on our skin when we actually make sweaters and things out of them. It's all biodegradable, all earth-friendly. We are kind to the animals. I realize there's a lot of things out there about things with animals being shorn in a brutal way, and honestly, that's sort of the, that's the polar opposite of everybody that I know. So I'm sure you could find some bad people out there, but I think you could probably find bad people mistreating their dogs too, and we wouldn't say don't keep pet dogs. So it's sort of the same way. Every breeder I know are madly in love with their animals, and the animals are treated like gold, and when they're shorn, they're super happy because they're like, they feel like, hey, I took my coat off, and they're jumping and running around having a great time. So it's not cruel, and in fact, it's extremely important for their health so they don't, die in order to get this off their body. So, yeah, it's definitely, I mean, everyone definitely is entitled to their opinion, no doubt. But I do have to say, even though there might be an opinion that it's cruel, it is not cruel. I raise these animals, and they are my darlings. So,
right, you can tell you're definitely very passionate about them, and they are not just like some animal in your yard. They're your pals. Okay, so how did you get into fiber farming? Because I'm sure that's not something that you just wake up one day and like, hey, let me just fiber farm. Like, how did you get into fiber farming?
Well, basically, I on my New Year's, I don't have resolutions. I actually have something I'm going to learn every year that I've never done. So I picked knitting one year, and when I was learning to knit, I still, by the way, don't knit. So on my way to learning, I became fascinated with the yarn itself, and that's not surprising because I actually used to raise Angora rabbits, and we used to show them. And I would give the fiber away. I really didn't know what to do with it, but I knew others did. But I became fascinated with the yarn itself and how we could get these natural yarns. And being a lifelong animal lover and being somebody who's on a farm doing things, I thought, it was even more fascinating to me to grow the fiber for the people who would be needing it later on. So it kind of was a natural fall-in for me. And I have since met so many other people, and there's all different species that fit your personality, and so that's kind of fun. So we did that, and a lot of people were kind of cracking up going, how are you doing that while you're having gardens? Whether it's our vegetables we grow or whether it's our flowers, whatever. Like, well, we just make sure the fencing's really secure. They do get out once in a while, but they're fenced, but we also fence the gardens, so we kind of catch them before they actually make it into the garden area. So it's kind of nice.
Well, we don't often talk about heirloom flowers as much as we do vegetables. What's the heirloom flower? Why heirloom flowers and not just normal flowers? And that's not very common, I guess, to many families.
Right. Well, heirlooms. Now our farm is a mix. We have heirlooms, and we also have the more current hybrid varieties because they hold up very, very well in a vase, so they're kind of bred for that. And we also do the heirlooms as well. Heirloom flowers, they really are regular flowers, to the eye. And, of course, 100 years ago, just like vegetables, they were just vegetables and flowers. But, basically, a general definition are flowers that have been cultivated, for hundreds or even thousands of years, depending on the plant. And so in its most strict definition, they're open pollinated plants, which means that the plants have flowers that are naturally pollinated by insects or birds or mammals or even the wind. So seeds produced by open pollination will produce future plants that look and perform or breed true like the parent plant. So they're handed down through generations, and you do recognize once you plant it, it's going to come out like the parent plant. Whereas, when you have a hybrid variety, basically that's an offspring of two different plant varieties, and they're created to produce a desired trait, maybe like a deeper color in the flowers or larger blossoms or the height of the plant. So hybrids, they're closely related in the gene pool, which doesn't leave a lot of genetic diversity. So what that means is that when you plant hybrid seeds, they don't result in the plants that look like their parent, so they don't breed true. They could look like any number of characteristics that's hidden inside that genetic code. But with the heirlooms, you're kind of going to know that what you're going to get. So, and there's always conversation about how many years a plant has to be in existence. So the purist definition really is 100 years old. That the purists really believe if the plant has been handed down for 100 years, that makes it an heirloom. Some people say 50. It's all different. And then roses are completely, that's a whole different thing because there's actually hybrids that they consider heirlooms. So that's kind of a whole other thing. But anyway, they're passed along plants. And they're meant to pass around from gardener to gardener or generation to generation and produce exactly what you think they're going to. So these guys are all, beloved by many generations. And their common names you're going to see out there now. And some are going to be hybrids. You may go to a big box store and you'll see dahlias, but for the most part, they're hybrid dahlias, which is fine and awesome. But the heirloom dahlias are, something that you probably have to get from another, gardener or collector, or you can order some. But a lot of the heirlooms that we love are, carnation species, all different kinds of them, peonies, hollyhocks, lilacs, sweet peas, snapdragons, all the ones you're thinking of, but we like the ones that actually breed true and are the older varieties. We also love the handcrafters heirlooms. That's one thing here we focus on a lot is flowers that are like everlastings. So after you cut them and they have their little vase life, after that you can actually hang them to dry or hang them to dry immediately. And then they're used in crafts for all kinds of various things. So to us, they, the heirlooms that are everlastings have a second life. And some of those would be like statice, strawflower, gomphrena, even nigella, which is love and a mist. They have those wonderful seed pods, which then their name becomes devil in a bush because of the neat horns on the seed pods. But those also are great in dried bouquets. So, anyway, so we are definitely flower happy over here.
Okay. Now, you have a book on vertical gardening. What is an unusual way people can vertical garden, and how can we prepare now, maybe or over winter, to have more vertical gardening incorporated in our lives?
Well, I'm not sure if this is an unusual way, but it's one of my favorite ways to vertical garden because the whole idea, part of the idea of vertical gardening is that you might live in an area, maybe an apartment or just maybe an urban setting or even suburban, where you don't have as much room as you might like to grow vegetables, flowers, everything. And what I like to do is take two garden beds, and there might be like a pathway in the middle. And instead of using up that gardening space on the ground for something that either sprawls or, vines or something, like cucumbers or small pumpkins at this time of the year, that's always a thing. And instead of using that ground space and going horizontally and taking up that room, we'd rather do something like put a cattle panel, and that's like this wire mesh panel, and we use T-posts, or some people use rebar, but we use T-posts, into the garden bed right next to the side of the bed. So you're right on the edge, and we take that cattle panel and we bring it up, we hook it to that, we bring it up and over the pathway into the next garden bed on the edge again. And in this way, we can actually plant vining or sprawling plants right along the bottom of those cattle panels, watch them climb up and over the gardening path. So the gardening path, which was wasted on just space for you to walk, is now you're using, your vertical real estate there up over your head to actually have these things hang down, pumpkins or gourds or cucumbers or even indeterminate, which are the vining tomatoes. Those also, can be used that way. And it's really fun. You walk through the path and you've got your fruit hanging right there, or your flowers like sweet peas and things like that. So I'm not sure that's super unusual, but it's one of my favorite ways to do it. As far as overwintering, you know what? That's a hard one for me because in some cases, depending on the vertical thing you're using, you might prepare your bed just like you would, with anything else, depending on where you live and what your winters are like. But with vertical gardening, a lot of it is done in containers or in, elongated things. It just depends on what you're growing them in. But with vertical, I find that I'm not really preparing most of the vertical before the season. I can just whip it up right when the season starts. If I decide to gutter plant, for example, using the gutters that you might find at, a do-it-yourself store, and hooking them along a wall, and then just putting some bagged potting soil in there and growing, your strawberries in there. That's something that really wouldn't need to be prepared, the winter before.
Right.
You can just do it right that season. But, anything else would be done the same way. So that was kind of a tough one for me to answer, actually.
Well, briefly, tell us about your books, or where can we find your books? You're an author of several books, and how can people find more about you? Where can we go to learn more about what you do?
Yeah, on Amazon, of course, all the books are there. My latest one was Raising Animals for Fiber, producing wool from sheep, goats, alpacas, rabbits in your backyard. And the one right before that was Growing Heirloom Flowers. So two totally different topics, but both of them my passions. And any other books that I have is all there too. So usually I just search Amazon, but indie bookstores have them too, generally speaking. And so, I don't really have them available on my websites. I have the link that goes to either the indie places or Amazon, so you could go directly to there and check out more.
Well, Chris, we greatly appreciate the time you've given us and the education that you provided for Holly, myself, and all of our listeners.
Oh, thank you so much for having me.
And do not go anywhere. When we come back, it's going to be about your garden questions and our garden answers. You can always submit a question at the WisconsinVegetableGardener.com website. You can email us at twvgshow@gmail.com, or just drop us hashtag TWVG on Twitter, and we will get your question answered. You're listening to the Wisconsin Vegetable Gardener Radio Show.
Send your questions in now to the IV Organics 3-in-1 Plant Garden Instant Access text hotline at 414-368-9311. That number again, text 414-368-9311 and send your garden question in.
The Handy Safety Knife is a patented high-quality knife that's worn like a ring, so it's always conveniently at hand and very easy and efficient to work with. That's why you'll find the Handy Safety Knife at work in a wide range of industries and applications. Learn more at handysafetyknife.com.
Use coupon code WVG to get 10% off and free shipping, one-time use only at handysafetyknife.com.
Pomona's Universal Pectin is high-quality pectin that gels reliably with low amounts of any sweetener. If you're trying to reduce the amount of sugar in your diet, you'll love Pomona's Universal Pectin. Now you can make healthy homemade jams and jellies sweetened to your taste. You can use sugar, honey, or any alternative sweetener you'd like. Pomona's Universal Pectin keeps indefinitely when stored in an airtight container. Easy to use, versatile, and comes with directions and recipes in every box. Find out more and where to buy at PomonaPectin.com. Available at most natural food stores and online.
Do you seek safe, effective nutrition solutions to boost your health and quality of life? Standard Process is your trusted whole food supplement manufacturer with 90 years of expertise. Our third-generation family-owned company proudly grows nutrient-rich ingredients at our certified organic farm in Palmyra, Wisconsin, enabling us to produce high-quality whole food solutions that change lives. For help identifying the best supplements for you, find a local healthcare professional today at standardprocess.com/patients.
The number one key to healthy, productive plants are the roots. Starting from seed to full-grown plants, rootmaker.com has the answer. From seed starting trays with an innovative design that air prunes the roots, creating a fabulous root system, never again will you have root-bound plants, to multiple gallon grow bag sizes to raised beds. Rootmaker.com has your grow needs covered. Visit rootmaker.com. Flame Engineering, home of the Weed Dragon, the perfect propane torch kit for home and garden use. For killing weeds, no need to pull or spray. 100 other uses. Find out more at flameengineering.com. Use coupon code WVG19 to get free shipping.
Here at Outpost Natural Foods, it's not just that we're community-owned that sets us apart. It's the fabulous foods we sell. We celebrate Earth Day every day by offering our customers the finest natural and organic food selections in Greater Milwaukee. Outpost local farmers and vendors provide our stores with a delicious selection of fresh seasonal produce that you won't want to miss. Outpost stores are located in Milwaukee, Wauwatosa, Bayview, and Mequon. We're a real Milwaukee original where anyone can shop and anyone can join. For the whole scoop about Outpost, we invite you to visit www.outpost.coop.
Blue Mel's Garden and Landscape Center offers an awesome selection of high-quality garden and landscape products. We have just the plants you're looking for: annuals, perennials, veggies, herbs, and more. Plus, you can always count on us to answer all of your questions and offer expert advice. Blue Mel's also carries the largest selection of bulk landscape materials in the area. Enjoy a beverage from our coffee shop while your kids run around in our huge playground. Join our growing list of highly satisfied customers. Visit the garden center that offers everything you're looking for. Visit Blue Mel's today.
Blue Mel's 4930 West Loomis Road, 414-282-4220.
The Wisconsin Vegetable Gardener Radio Show is brought to you by the following: Eco Garden Systems, Row Maker, Shield and Seal, World's Coolest Rain Gauge, Big Fats Hot Sauce, Chapin International, Drip Garden, Norwalk Juicers, Nunu Healing Ointment, Phylum Bioproducts, Soil Savvy, Tree Ripe. Find all sponsors at the WisconsinVegetableGardener.com and thank them for their support.
Now back to the Wisconsin Vegetable Garden Radio Show with your hosts, Joey and Holly Baird.
Ivy Organics 3-in-1 Plant Guard naturally protects plants against damage and sunburn, insects and rodents, protects newly installed plants and trees, shields, prune, and damaged surfaces for use on your roses, fruit and nut trees, ornamental trees, and shrubs. This product is non-toxic, environmentally safe, and organic. For more information, visit ivorganics.com. You can send us an email through the Ivy Organic 3-in-1 Plant email inbox. The email address is twvgshow@gmail.com. You can also send us a text on the Instant Access Ivy Organic 3-in-1 Plant Guard Instant Access text hotline, and that would be 414-368-9311. Again, that's 414-368-9311.
Had a number of questions come in throughout the week, and you're always welcome to send questions at any time. Question from Mary. Love your emails. She signs up for a weekly email each Tuesday morning. Is it too late in the season to transplant daylilies? I've got several I'd like to maneuver around.
You want to do this in the early spring or early fall, or middle spring or early fall. They tolerate moderate, during transplanting, they tolerate more moderate soil temperature to help them become established more quickly.
So, next question. Pat would like to know, is it a good time right now to plant spinach? And yes, in the upper portions of the Midwest, where the days are getting shorter and cooler, spinach is a great crop to put in the ground. Spinach is a cool weather crop that we typically, and many of you, and if not all of you, have grown it in the spring. The challenge in which we face in the spring planting is the days are getting longer and warmer, and those are two strikes against spinach. Spinach likes short days, cool nights, and cool temperatures so it doesn't go to bolt or put seed pod on, which is that excessive center growth that eventually turns into a flower and the leaves get bitter. So by putting it in the fall, that's great. It takes about 45 days to get full mature spinach. You can harvest baby spinach much earlier than that. You can also do other crops such as radishes is a good one, or leaf lettuce. You can get a crop in for fall with that. So yeah, put it in the ground. You'll be very happy you did. Roxanne writes in, has a question about her Hopi gray squash. She did send images, so it was easier for us to identify. Her question is, she just harvests them. Frost is coming, so she harvests them early. The stems are part green, part brown. Greenish when I cut them. The squash, is it edible? I'm trying to decide if I should keep it or throw it away. I'm assuming it will not store very well or very long because the stems are not brown. Well, Roxanne, do not throw your squash away. You're going to be fine. The stems are going to dry whether they're on the vine or in your home or in your storage area, your cupboard, wherever you store your winter squash at. You do want to check on your squash or your stored produce periodically just to make sure that one apple doesn't spoil the bunch, that type of thing. You do want to cure your winter squash before putting it into storage. Now, that is the process of leaving it in the sun for several days to allow the skin to thicken, or if it's too cold outside and it's going to freeze, you can bring it indoors into a warm room for, again, several days to a week based on the type of winter squash to get it to cure. And that is going to allow the longevity of that particular item to be much longer than it would if you just brought it in and put it in the storage pantry or wherever. So do not throw it out just because the stem is green. You may have thought that, but it's simply not true. You're going to have nice winter squash stored all winter long in most instances based on the variety. Before we get into what's coming up next week on the program, Holly, remind them about the executive sponsor.
The executive sponsor of the Wisconsin Vegetable Gardener radio show is Power Planter. Planting conditions are always favorable with the Power Planter Earth Auger. No matter what the job is, Power Planter has the right size for you. Simply attach to a drill and let the Power Planter do the work for you. Create planting holes fast and efficiently with ease. No matter the soil type, it does the job effortlessly. Increase your root to soil contact. Leave the shovel and spade in the shed. Hand-welded and made in the USA, we offer a lifetime warranty on product defects. Find the size that fits your project at powerplanter.com.
Coming up next week on the program, do not miss it, we'll go over how you can properly and successfully plant fall garlic, as well as what did not work in your garden. We're going to ask our social media followers as well as you what didn't work in your garden this year that you're going to change for next year. And author and health expert Shauna Coronado will be with us, plus your garden questions. Always tell your friends and family the Wisconsin Vegetable Gardener radio show is here for you. Miss any portion of this program or want to revisit it in its entirety or past programs, there's a couple of ways in which you can do that. You can go to your favorite podcast providing website and search the Wisconsin Vegetable Gardener radio show or Wisconsin Vegetable Gardener podcast. You can find it there. Or you can go to our website, the WisconsinVegetableGardener.com, and click on the radio tab or the highlight tab on the main page to catch all past episodes of this program and segments of each program that we do. Until next week, for Holly Baird, I'm Joy Baird, and we will see you in the garden.
You have been listening to the Wisconsin Vegetable Gardener radio show. Tell a friend and join Joey and Holly again next week so we can all grow together. The Wisconsin Vegetable Gardener radio show is a production of the WisconsinVegetableGardener.com in association with WI Garden Media broadcast live from the WNOV 860 AM and the W293CX 106.5 FM. Courier Communication Studios in Milwaukee, Wisconsin.